What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to talk about the two brand new weapons that came with Season 5 for Cold War's multiplayer. And the reason I wanted to make this video today is I was actually planning on doing my gun guides like I would normally do, where I go into great detail with the stats of each of these guns. However, it didn't take long looking into the stats of these guns to realize that the stats are completely broken on these guns, and they have to change at some point in the near future. Now, for those of you guys that know me and have been around the channel for a while, I'm not the type of person to just throw around words like broken or overpowered lightly. I really do my best to reserve those words for situations where there is something broken here, and these two new weapons, the EM2 as well as the TEC-9, completely break any semblance of weapon balance in Cold War's multiplayer. So I did want to quickly just go through and show you guys exactly why these guns are so broken in their current state, as well as a few suggestions that I have that would help bring them into balance without swinging too far in the other direction and making them essentially useless. So let's start off with the EM2. Now the EM2 is kind of similar to the C58. It's got quite a slow rate of fire at 535 rounds per minute. It's just a little bit slower than the C58. And by default, it's a 4-shot kill to the body, which so far, that's looking fine. That's about where it should be. That gives it a time to kill value of 336 milliseconds, which is actually a bit slower than average for assault rifles. And it's also worth mentioning, one of the great upsides of the EM2 is it is an extremely accurate gun. There is practically no recoil on this weapon. Now, like I said, so far, it seems like this weapon's actually not that bad at all. However, the first thing to consider here is we deal 48 damage to the body, which means all it takes is one single headshot mixed in with 2 body shots to get a 3-shot kill, which is extremely easy to do with this gun since it is so ridiculously accurate. And when you end up getting a 3-shot kill with this weapon, our time to kill potential is now 224 milliseconds. This time to kill potential is not only faster than every one of the assault rifles by a large margin, it's actually faster than every single full auto SMG in the game, with the exception of the other gun that was added with Season 5, which we're going to get into in the second half of this video. So straight up, with the EM2, with no attachments equipped, if you land just one headshot mixed in with 2 body shots, out to a distance of 38 meters, or you could easily double that with the reinforced heavy barrel up to 76 meters, or with the takedown barrel, you can push that all the way out to 95 meters. So basically every single engagement you get into, if you land one headshot mixed in with 2 body shots, you now have a completely untouchable time to kill. No other full auto gun in the game can properly compete with the EM2, again, aside from the other gun that we're going to be talking about later in this video. So already, without even considering attachments, that's a clear issue with the EM2. That is just too good compared to the other guns in the game. However, we haven't even talked about the task force barrel yet. Just like with all of the other guns in the game, the task force barrel will increase your damage. But for every other gun in the game, the task force barrel really only affects a number of shots to kill when you start mixing headshots into the equation. It doesn't change the number of shots to kill to the body. However, with the EM2, if you use the task force barrel, this pushes your base damage up to 51, so now it's going to be a 3-shot kill to the body. No headshots required whatsoever. And on top of this, it increases our effective damage range up to 57 meters. So this gun is now going to be a 3-shot kill with a 224 millisecond time to kill up to 57 meters. Now, normally, the task force barrel on weapons in Cold War is kept in check by the fact that it significantly increases the recoil of a gun. However, the EM2's base recoil is so incredibly good that even when you put the task force barrel on this, it's still one of the most accurate guns in the game. So now you have an incredibly accurate weapon that can get an untouchable time to kill potential all the way out to 57 meters, which is going to encompass nearly every single gunfight you get into in Cold War's multiplayer, with the exception of some gunfights on like Satellite, for instance, if you're really trying to stretch your ranges out. Essentially what I'm trying to say here is the EM2 at the task force barrel is by far the best assault rifle in the game, and it's not even close. No other assault rifle even comes remotely close to competing against the EM2 with the task force barrel. So yeah, that's the EM2. Those are the clear issues that we're seeing with this gun. As for a couple really simple solutions to this, first up, I would reduce the damage and or headshot values down to a point where without any attachments, without that task force barrel, you're only able to get a 3-shot kill if 2 of the shots hit them in the head and then 1 to the body. That way, you're still heavily rewarded for hitting those headshots. You still have the ability to get that great time to kill potential, but it wouldn't be as forgiving. You would have to hit 2 headshots instead of 1. I think that would still make the EM2 a very solid weapon. I would still really enjoy using it, but at least other weapons could properly compete against it. Then, when it comes to the task force barrel, what I would do with this is I'd make it so there's no 3-shot kill to the body. It should be like the other guns in the game where the task force barrel doesn't change the number of shots to kill to the body. Just make it so now you have to get just 1 headshot mixed in with 2 body shots to get that 3-shot kill. However, on top of that, I would also increase the amount of recoil that the task force barrel gives. Otherwise, I think the EM2 would still be too effective. It's way too easy to land just 2 shots to the body, 1 shot to the head with this gun. And therefore, I do feel like something needs to be done about that. So yeah, that's the EM2. That's what's really broken about it. Now let's move on to the TEC-9. And the TEC-9 is another one that is just clearly overpowered, but not necessarily with the base version of the gun. The base version of the gun is semi-automatic, and even if you manage to reach the maximum fire rate of 451 rounds per minute, you get a time to kill potential of 266 milliseconds, which is about average for SMGs when it comes to time to kill. So that's totally fine in my opinion. And honestly, even the burst fire attachment that you can use, this kind of makes it relatively in line with the KSP-45, which means it's a very powerful gun, and I would consider it to be top tier with burst fire, but I don't necessarily think it's completely broken in burst fire mode. The problem comes with the full auto attachment on the TEC-9. With this, we get a full auto rate of fire of 652 rounds per minute, and we still retain a maximum damage value of 50. This means our time to kill potential with the full auto TEC-9 is 184 milliseconds. And this is far faster than any of the other full auto SMGs in the game or any of the full auto guns in this entire game. Just for a little bit of context on this, if we compare this to the PPSH, which is an SMG, this kills almost twice as fast as the PPSH. When you get killed by this in core game modes, it feels like you're playing hardcore modes. It is a nearly instant time to kill, and unlike a burst gun, which it's okay to have a fast time to kill on a burst gun because you can balance that out by making it unforgiving by requiring you to hit every bullet within a burst, this is a full auto weapon, so it's really forgiving. Even if you miss a shot or two, it's extremely forgiving still. And as a result, the TEC-9 in full auto is currently an untouchable monster in close quarter situations. I would much rather have this than any of the shotguns or any of the other SMGs in my hand, and it's not even close. Nothing even remotely competes against this in the game right now. Now, this is another one of those cases where I think it's a fairly simple fix. If they were to make the full auto attachment reduce your damage value below 50, this would make it a 4-shot kill, and even with a 4-shot kill with the full auto attachment, we get a time to kill potential of 276 milliseconds, which is kind of right around where a full auto SMG should be. So it wouldn't make this gun useless by any means. It would still be great with the full auto attachment. It would fit in just fine with the meta, and I don't think I would have any issue with it whatsoever. But yeah, in its current state, just like the EM2, the TEC-9 full auto is completely broken. And it's really unfortunate to see this. I totally understand that when they bring new weapons into the game, they want to make them maybe a little bit more powerful than everything else, to make them really highly sought after, to encourage people to buy the Battle Pass tiers so they can get it unlocked earlier, or maybe buy some of the bundles in the store so they can unlock it immediately. I totally get that from a business standpoint. However, in this particular case, they took it way too far. These guns have completely broken all weapon balance in Cold War's multiplayer, and they absolutely need some adjustment soon. Now, of course, that is just my opinion based on the data that I've collected, as well as my initial experience with these weapons. Of course, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about these 2 new guns that they added? Do you feel they are completely overpowered in Cold War's multiplayer? Or do you actually think they're just fine as is? Just let me know those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.